Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. I'm the Magi and welcome to Midweek Magic, where I want you to grow your collection by winning 2 free rare or better ICRs each and every week. This week we are going to have a ball building a 100 card Brawl deck around the commander selected by you, the community. But before we get into all of that, this whole Midweek Magic thing has become a bit of a tradition here at the Stronghold, and it all started with our crack team of researchers discovering that we were the only YouTube channel making consistent, proactive, and timely Midweek Magic coverage. And here we are years later, and it appears that we're still the only ones out there doing it for the budget community. So be sure to subscribe to the Planeswalker Stronghold so that we can be here for you every chance we get. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, right. So no joking around, a Brawl deck can get pretty expensive pretty fast, being very potentially intensive on rare and mythic wildcards. But it doesn't have to be. And one of the ways I try and keep these decks affordable and approachable for our community is by selecting commanders that I know you're going to have good access to. This time around, I limited the selection to the potential commanders in the 2025 starter collection, as well as those presented in the Bloomburrow Jumpstart packs. And this time around, the community selected Camellia the Seedmiser. So today's budget Brawl deck is going to be all about 2 things. You guessed it, squirrels and food. Believe it or not, I've been around Arena for so long that I remember when it was nothing but standard. And in fact, when rotation happened, they had no choice but to delete the cards because they were kind of useless. Since you could only play standard. But of course, since then, the Eternal formats available on Arena have grown by leaps and bounds. In fact, it kind of seems like we have a new one every time we turn around now. But in order for me to recommend an Eternal deck as being budget friendly, it's got to meet one basic criteria. At least half of the non-land cards in the deck need to come from those recent and easily accessible sets like Standard, Alchemy that is in rotation, or Eternal direct releases that have been done during that budget year, i.e. since the most recent rotation. And once we have that easy, accessible basis, I will try and assist you in making small, strategic, and versatile investments in your Eternal collection so that your wildcard pool continues to grow while your Eternal options do as well. So the very best way I know to make a budget Brawl deck is to start by making a standard Brawl deck with the same theme. That way you know that the majority of your playable cards in your final Brawl deck will in fact come from your standard playable cards. By doing so, I just grab the 2 color pair starter deck for whatever commander I'm wanting to do, make a copy of that, open it up, change the deck over to a standard Brawl, select your commander, and then delete all of the duplicate offending cards. From here, I tend to add the applicable cards from Jump In that aren't already there. For this particular deck, that would mean the Bloomburrow Squirrels deck and the Wilds of Eldraine Sweet Tooth and Hungry. Then looking for particular on-theme commons and uncommons. For this particular deck, I looked for food. And then to finish up our standard Brawl deck, we just give the land selections a little tweak. Then looking for particular on-theme commons and uncommons. For this particular deck, I looked for food. And of course, since we are building a Brawl deck using a Bloomburrow base that has a lot of tribal kindred style cards, I highly recommend taking a look at my similarly kindred themed all-star list and adding those to your collection and your deck as you see fit. And then lastly, you look at your broader Eternal collection, doing those similar keyword searches, again this time food, and adding in those final cards to finish out your 100. Alright, so there you have it, folks. Just like that, you can build a complete 100 card Brawl deck built around mostly your free and standard legal cards. That's the first two columns here, including Camellia. And as you can see, this is really the vast majority of what's going on here. Cold Steel Heart, Guardian Idol, Mind Stone, Ornithopter of Paradise, etc. Many of those cards are now being given to new account holders as a Brawl or part of a Brawl sample deck. And certainly, whatever deck you got on that, you could just pick that up. Admittedly, this still might be a mana wildcard intensive deck for a lot of people. So if it is, I would say focus on this third column here, the staple cards that are going to end up in decks over and over and over again. Picking up just a couple of these every week or two is going to go a long way. Beyond that, we've got about 8 commons and uncommons here that happen to fit this particular deck. You don't necessarily need to craft these. You can look for similar themes within your existing collection and make that work. And then beyond that, we've got like 2 rares that I felt like really fit this particular deck. Restless Cottage, which of course is from Standard, and Toski, which is also available within Standard packs right now, as this is one of the special guests from Bloomburrow. And when I say Standard packs, I don't mean packs from the store. I'm talking about those limited draft sealed packs. But all in all, a very good deck, very easy overall on the budget. And if you take it slow and build up these staples within your collection, if you've already invested in some standard staples like Thran Portal, Cavern of Souls, Fabled Passage, Plaza of Heroes, etc. Secluded Courtyard is another one of those special guests from Bloomburrow. It's really not tough to put together a really good collection slowly over time. And hey, if this particular deck doesn't fit your budget, your collection, or your particular playstyle, you can always visit my public profile on Aetherhub. Just select decks and then select, in this case, historic Brawl. Terminology changes over time. And as you can see, there's quite a few decks here. 56 historic Brawl decks available out there from different points in our arena career here. You can find something to fit your inclination and needs. And if none of those Brawl Commander options suit your fancy, there is always the tried and true solution of Rat Colony. All you need is a black commander of some sort, probably 40 lands, mostly swamps, or all swamps, depending upon how you want to look at it. About 4 crafted copies of Rat Colony, which you can then replicate to 40 in deck, and about 20 interactive cards, removal spells, things of that sort. And of course, don't forget, you don't have to craft the new mythic version of Rat Colony. You can craft these for just a common by reaching back to the Dominaria set. So there it is, guys. Those are my thoughts on this week's Midweek Magic, including something like 60 deck options for y'all. But be sure, comment down below, let me know what you're thinking about, what did you end up playing, and how did it work for you? And hey, just in case you didn't catch all that, Matt would like you to know that the deck list that we discussed in this video is going to have a link down in the doobly-doo to take you over to Aetherhub, along with a link to any other alternative list that you might wish to consider. He only asks that you give it a little thumbs up when you're over there checking out the deck list. And I plan on live playing this event on Wednesday at 11 a.m. over on my Twitch channel, so definitely stop in and check it out. Because the Stronghold is so much more than just a YouTube channel, and you can find links to all of our other social media outlets in our profile. Because at the end of the day, we're all budget players. And as a community, we're stronger together. So like, comment, subscribe, follow, do all those things to show a little love. It's appreciated more than you know.